Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wellness Day, a podcast coming to you every Wednesday here from the Jahangir Wellness Center. Here today from the JWC studio, I've got a very, very special episode today. I've got someone who is probably the soul of Jahangir Hospital. She has been the face of Jahangir Hospital for many, many people, as I'm sure you will see in a second. I've got Maya Mahale here, who has been now with Jahangir Hospital
Hello.
for 29 years. Thank you for being here. Finally, Maya.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. And
I know I've been trying to get you on this podcast for a long, long time, and you've been very reluctant, been scared to be on, but I finally got you here now. Are you happy to be here?
yes, of course.
Good. So thank you so much for being here, Maya. As I said, you've been the soul of Jahangir Hospital now for 29 years. Many people know you by name, know you by face, know you by message, know you by every form. And it's an absolute privilege to finally have you over here. So thank you for, first of all, everything that you've done for the last 29 years, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me here.
So tell me, Maya, first thing, how did you start here 29 years ago?
Well, I joined the hospital as a secretary to the chief executive officer.
Okay.
And the path along, we had our expansion plan. So I was also involved somewhat in the project of the expansion of the hospital.
So 29, sorry to interrupt, 29 years ago would have been what, 1997?
1997, that's
Okay,
right.
right.
And then slowly along, I started working for the chairman and the trustees of the hospital. And I think way back in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, so I was called by the chairman and said that, okay, why don't you, look after patients?
Yeah.
So presumably I did a great job about it.
It's a
So,
It's a
so the chairman said that, okay, we do not want one Maya, but we want, many Mayas. So why don't you head the Department of Guest Relations? And that's how
Right.
I have been here. I have also done my postgraduate, administration diploma in hospital administration.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a distance
So you-
course, and
Yeah,
I got an
okay.
outstanding grade in it.
I can imagine that.
But
Tell me, actually, Maya, while we talk about your story as we go along, did wellness exist in the hospital when you joined? Because at that time, now everyone talks about wellness, and there are wellness centers everywhere. Everyone is claiming to be
yeah,
doing wellness.
what
Did
I
we have it?
remember is that in 1997 when I joined, there was this little department called as a Master Health Check department.
Okay.
So it was a really, really, tiny department.
Right.
I don't think anybody knew about it, whether it existed or no in that big hospital.
Yeah.
We are talking about around 200, 250 beds then. And then this department catered only to, the basic checkups like the master health checkup, the executive health checkup. These were the basic tests catered for corporates as a pre-employment checkup
Yeah.
package.
But like basic things like
very,
like your
very,
blood
very,
tests
yeah,
or
very, very basic.
X-ray,
Yeah, very, very basic ones.
Hmm.
But compared to that, if we see the wellness now, it has really grown by leaps and bounds.
Of course.
And our wellness center does not only cater to preventive health checkups, but it also has this 360-degree of a holistic approach, which involves the mind, body, and soul. And we also have allied therapies at our wellness center, which is very, very important as a healing process for most of the dreadful diseases. So to name a few of the therapies which we have the Zentangle therapy, the bark flower therapy, the art therapy, the bowen therapy, and many, many
So
others, the dance movement therapy. We have a whole lot of these, and I feel that this is also very necessary and important for the well-being of an individual.
So let's stop there. Sorry, I will interrupt you. I'm sorry to do that. But before we get into that, what does it mean to you? What does wellness mean to you?
Wellness to me is like feeling good about yourself physically, emotionally, mentally. And wellness also means a holistic approach, as I mentioned to you,
Yeah.
your mind, body, and soul. It should, not only stop at doing your preventive checkups regularly, but you also need to discover avenues within yourself what would get solace, what would bring solace to your own self in especially in this stressful world.
Absolutely. So what do you do for your own stress?
For my own stress,
Like,
yeah,
for example, I know you told me before we got on screen that you're very nervous on camera. So, like, what did you do before we started this episode for your stress? Firas.
Well, jokes apart, actually, that's a very, very good question. Basically, healthcare has always been my passion. I always wanted to do my science, or I wanted to join healthcare, as in, like, wanted to be a doctor. So, but I could not make it. And I always kept looking out for opportunities to join a hospital. So I started my career with in Lax Hospital. So I worked there 5 years at the Department of Radiology. So I have been handling and meeting patients since then. And in between, I got a job in the corporate. But I think corporate was not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I was so used to, healthcare. So coming to your question, healthcare has always been my passion. It has been my first love, and I'm very, very passionate about my patients. So
That is very clear. I think anyone who's ever interacted with you will always say
so
that.
I love helping my patients. I love assisting them. I love going an extra mile. I love seeing that smile on their face. And at the end of the day, the satisfaction which I feel from within, it is absolutely like out of the world. And as a result of as a result of which I get a good night's sleep. So, which is very important, because mentally, mentally, you need to be at peace. You need to have a good night's sleep. I'm also careful about my diet. I do my little bit of walking. And I do my preventive checkups regularly.
Oh, so you
Annually-
preach, you do what you preach.
That's right. So I have been doing my regular checkups. I also have my regular vaccination doses, and
Okay.
I also I mean to say really impose people to get.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone gets their
get it.
reminders from
I keep sending reminders,
which
to
I'm sure
everyone.
everyone actually appreciates
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
So I do that, and also I practice my harmonium lessons.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, at night post dinner.
Okay.
So it's really very rejuvenating,
Right.
and it helps you regenerate your nerves, your whole body, and you are up and above for the fresh you the next day after a long, tiring day,
Yeah, I can
previous
imagine.
day. So, the music is a very, very important part of life.
Lovely.
And also, as far as exercise and all, I really don't exercise.
But you're on your feet.
But I'm
so-
on my feet for the whole day. And at home, I mean to say, we do not have a servant, so we do all the work by ourselves. So I think that is the secret of.
Good. Well, you were talking about how you interact with so many.
Before I forget, I must also mention to
Please.
you that.
Please interrupt me anytime.
Yeah, sorry. I must also mention to you that I'm a great admirer of Zentangle therapy.
Okay.
So, on Sundays, whenever I have the free time, I get literally, immersed in the beauty of doing repetitive patterns.
Right,
And
right.
it's really, it's really a mind blow. You feel so good at the end of it. And the product which you get after you're doing a Zentangle, you will not believe and imagine, is this?
Yeah.
I've done this.
I've had the same experience as you. I'm terrible at art, but what I see at the end of it is quite something.
It's really, especially, when I lost dad in May 2020, that was the time I used to say that, Sundays, what do I do? Because when dad was around, I was like all over and above him, doing masti and all
Right,
that.
right.
And then I said, oh, now what do I do? Because sister used to go and have her usual afternoon nap on Sundays. And I started doing the Zentangle. And mind you, Kavas, it was like, I really felt so relaxed at the end of it. It was really, a game changer for me. It really changed my life.
Incredible. That's so nice to hear. Right. No, but the question that I was going to ask you is that, you dealt with so many people coming in through the hospital for so many years, back probably over thousands and thousands of people. What are the most common things that you find that, not necessarily frustrate you, but that you wish that people knew in terms of, what they can do from the preventive side to avoid coming to the hospital, or those are, because I'm sure, as I said, you've seen so many people. You must be having to see that trend of oh, I wish that this person knew this or this person did that.
Yeah.
What are the most common ones that come?
So I know of people who are, who just dread doing their wellness checkups, and also, a few people have, they are skeptical even meeting the doctors. So I have known of cases as a result of which the diseases which could be nipped at the bud, they reach at such a position that they cannot be reversed. It's really very unfortunate to know about it. I've also known of people who dread doing their preventive checkups, just thinking of the underlying test results or outcomes which should come. So people are really very skeptical going to the doctors.
So it's like
doing
that mindset of,
tests.
no, I don't want to find out if
Yeah, I
get
just,
anything
chal
bad.
raha hai na, chalne do, now, I mean to say, why get into something, when it happens, let us see that time,
Right.
So that type of thing. But there have also been a few people who have come across, who have been very, very regular at their health checkups, who have been getting their vaccination doses, especially after COVID times. People have become more aware of the preventive checkups and the vaccination.
Yeah.
And, there have been instances who have, people who have come and thanked me, patients have come and thanked me, ki good Maya, you told us about the health checkup because, this was a thing and good, it has got nipped at the bud. And because always there's a treatment to any of the diseases. So, I frankly feel that why sit on time bomb which is ticking away
Completely
when it can be cured, it can be treated.
Yeah.
Because prevention is always better than cure.
And with your reminders, people will hopefully always be ready to do them.
In fact, no, we also have, many schemes running at our wellness center. The Father's Day offer, Mother's Day offer, the Raksha Bandhan offer. People literally, call me and ask, oh, Maya, is there any scheme coming? Is there any upcoming scheme
Good, we
coming?
should do more and more.
Yeah, upcoming scheme coming now. And when is it? Just let me know. No? Because not only me, my cousins and my relatives and my friends would like to do it.
That's damn good,
they
as long as people are
they
doing
keep
them.
calling me up and they keep telling, And in fact, we came with this Father's Day scheme and the International Men's scheme, because it used to be always be Women's Day.
Right.
And then people said that, no, Maya, what? It is only for women. So what about we men? So we said, yes, of course.
Next time I should do the men's one. I can't do the Father's Day one, but I can do the men's one.
You can, yeah. So the International Men's Month is a November month. So next time, I'll see that I remind you.
Yeah, please do that. But yeah, just coming back to your journey now, and
Yeah.
we're coming to this year being 80 years for Jahangir Hospital. Any memories or anything that stand out for you in terms of how you've seen yourself, the hospital grow, and but particularly how you've seen wellness grow over the last few years? Any stories you'd like to share with us?
This is an episode very, very, very close to my heart. Actually, what happened was that, like, I have been fortunate to be a patient as well as a patient relative. I would say, so that I would know what really Jahangir Hospital, the ethos of Jahangir Hospital carries: empathy, which is very, very important. So this was in May 2020 when COVID struck.
Yeah.
And, it was unfortunate that Dad was diagnosed with COVID in the first wave. He was fighting between life and death in the CCU. And we two sisters were also COVID. So we were admitted in two separate rooms.
In the hospital.
In the hospital, yeah. And, we lost Dad around that time. But I must tell you this, Kavas, that during that time, the hospital authorities have taken care of all the last rites for my dad. Since we had to be isolated, we could not come out of the rooms, but it was handled so fantastically, I'll tell you. Like, nobody could do much more better than what was done for us by the hospital authorities. Also, after we were we were treated for COVID and the reports were all okay. But during then, the society norms were that unless you get a negative report, you're not allowed to enter the society. So we said, oh my, now do what, So we did not know where to go, what to do, because we were really, really shattered by the sudden loss of Dad. And I must tell you this, Kawas, that it was, our chairman, Mr. Jahangir, and ma'am who allowed us to stay in the hospital premises. And they said, Maya, you can stay here however long you can stay here until your reports come negative. And so that's how my sister and me, stayed in the hospital rooms. We were taking care of everything, our clothing, our food, everything. Literally had a roof over us because we didn't know where to go. So this was like, I think they were like really good Samaritans. They were saviors. They helped us sail through this rough patch of life. We were going through a total roller coaster ride, with all these, so what to do, now
Yeah.
that is now, then what do we do now? And it was a very rough patch of life for us. But even our healthcare providers, they looked after us so well as a patient. And as a patient relative, the empathy shown by Jahangir sir and Jasmine ma'am, I mean to say, not even the closest of our friends or acquaintances would have done all this for us, because it was a very, very difficult time.
For everyone.
Yeah, and coming to it, so when the second wave, struck of COVID, and I was still in my deep grief because I was very, very close to my dad. He was the bestest friend of mine on earth. And then when the second wave of COVID struck, I received calls, night, midnight, about, admissions, about getting ICU beds,
Yeah, I
or
remember.
getting rooms and all that. I said that no, I told to myself that, there was a savior in my life. Now I need to be a savior in someone else's life. So I did not deter. I determined to, help someone and be a savior for somebody. So that was it.
Yeah.
So, and it's always said, whatever you give, it comes back to you.
That is true.
Yeah, and I don't know, Kawas, if you know that I'm a Jahangir baby.
Yeah, you keep
So,
talking, but it
yeah.
makes me very emotional. But
Yeah, so I'm a Jahangir baby. So I am born in Jahangir Hospital. So it's always said, whatever you get, you need to give it back. So the first breath of air I've taken is of Jahangir Hospital. So I'm trying to give it back to the society in terms of my service, little whatever I can do.
yeah. No, it's what you said. That empathy of what it's basically that something that starts from you
Yeah, because
and how you started it,
patients,
and that translates to everything that we do going
right. So
forward.
because the patients, they do not come out of their choice. They need to come to hospital for treatment. It's not like going to a shopping mall or a multiplex where people go in for a pleasure ride, but here they are forced to come because they need some sort of a treatment. The relatives are also shattered. They would not know whether the finances would be enough, whether support services, whether the care cost of
It's about
the
healing the
yeah, whether the relative would have to take a day off from to say looking after the patient. So we as healthcare providers, we need to show some sort of an empathy, make the patient comfortable in whatever way we can.
Yeah, but since you've the one who's really been, in my opinion, has given the heart to this hospital, where would you like to see wellness and the hospital go in the future?
So wellness has really created a great space in everybody's mind and heart. Especially as I mentioned to you, after COVID, people have become more and more aware of the preventive
They have,
checkups.
and that's good.
Yeah, they have been more aware of the vaccination. I certainly feel, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we are coming up with a wellness too at the Viman Nagar
Yep,
location.
that's right. We're going to be having that up and running.
Yeah, right.
So another place for people to come to.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel that we need to have more and more of these wellness centers at every nook and corner of Pune, so that all the citizens of Pune are healthy and, that it's not a sick Pune, it is a healthy Pune.
We want people to stay well, or
Yes.
not just get well.
Yeah. I was just coming to
Oh,
it.
you're going to steal the
I
tagline?
was just going to say that. Don't just get well. Be well.
No, don't
Stay
just
well.
get well, stay well.
Don't just get well, stay well.
Now you're confusing everyone with what the tagline is. Don't just get well,
Don't
stay
just
well.
get well, stay well.
But yeah, Maya, I can't think of enough words to say what you do. First of all, I think you've got enough experience to be a doctor now. I genuinely, I've seen this actually, where you can probably diagnose most people faster than doctors can. And hopefully we'll be seeing that for many years to come
Yeah,
in the future.
actually, you have hit the nail on the head, covers, because it is really a boon working in the hospital, because seeing so many types of patients, you know what their symptoms are, what their test results are, and somebody in my own family, like in fact, I must mention this to you. So I had met a patient who had this, the gallbladder symptoms. And the very next day, in couple of days, my sister started having these type of symptoms. I said, look, it's something to do with the gallbladder. She said, are you mad? I just have a backache and the pain is just radiating towards the back. And what do you? I said, no, you are coming, you're doing your sonography, do your ultrasound, see what the results are. And it happened to be a gallbladder stone. And, sometimes it is like, God, or say the superpower of nature is preparing you towards it.
Yeah.
So, there, and then she got her laparoscopic cholecystectomy done. So, which was good, because otherwise you would have just thought it's just a backache, and then, she'll be really sitting on a time bomb which is ticking away. So, thanks to Jahangir Hospital and giving me the opportunity of, going, meeting patients and knowing what their symptoms are, what to look for, what not to look for, what are the tests.
So you are honorary Dr. Maya Mahale then.
So good. I wanted to become a doctor.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're probably better than...
Not a, what you say,
Probably better than a
not
lot
an
of
educated,
doctors.
qualified one, but okay, in some way or the other.
As I say, probably better than a lot of doctors. Maya, thank you so much for being here. Finally,
Thank you.
thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
And hopefully, I know that you'll be leading wellness long into the future as we see things.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again for inviting me. Thank you. I was able to spread some little message to the citizens
Message
of
and joy,
on,
which is really the heart of, as I say, of what
on
Jahangir
wellness.
Hospital is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was able to, really put my finger on the empathy part of it.
Absolutely.
Because we have hospitals all over, but Jahangir Hospital is very different from the others, because we have that human touch, we have that healing.
And as I keep saying, you're the center of that. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining for this week's episode. I hope you really enjoyed that. I know I really did. But before you leave, please do not forget to any comments that you may have to please write them down in the bottom. Any feedback that you may have, topics that you'd like us to cover, we'd be happy to do that. And lastly, before you leave, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button here at the bottom. Thank you and see you all next week.